Welcome to GigFaster TV on YouTube. Today we're going to look at how to get signed to a record label. Started, be sure you subscribe, hit the bell underneath the video and you'll get notification for new videos. And I know you're listening, most of you guys listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, which is great. If you could leave a 5-star review, that would be awesome. That really helped me out and keep me motivated to keep going with this. So let's get started. Okay, today we're going to look at how to get signed to a record label. And if you want to get signed to a record label, you have to be willing to work hard. Major and independent labels are businesses and they need to make money and they want to buy smaller businesses. And as I said before, your product, your band, your image, your social following, your music, everything makes up your product. Nobody knows the product better than you. And if you don't know what you're all about or how to explain it to somebody else, then you need to work on that. Now, like it or not, your band is a business. And if you're not making money, then a record label which needs to make money is going to pass. It's rare that they pick up somebody on sheer talent. Most of the time, the artists, the bands have already done all the hard work. They've done the grunt work to get you as a successful business. And now they're going to take you to the next level. I mean, there are a couple of things about this. Like, they want to see that you already know the ropes. You already know how to tour, perform, how to produce your own records, and that you're in it for the long haul. You know, they want to see that you have experience, and that's when they're willing to invest money in you, because it's a risk either way, any way they look at it, but you reduce that risk whenever you show that you're already competent and you're already doing it. Even if it's on a smaller level, that's fine. Now, to do that, you're going to have to sacrifice time, money, socializing with your friends, hanging out with your friends on a weekend when you're going to be working at this. The best thing you could do is have a job so that you can invest your money into it. Now, what does that mean? That means you have a full-time job and you're spending another full-time amount of hours investing in your music. So that doesn't leave a lot for social life. You're going to be performing and everything else. So it takes a lot of dedication and commitment. So ask yourself, are you committed to doing this and being a full-time musician and trying to succeed and get signed to a record label? Hopefully you are. People quit after very little effort. So if you don't quit, you every time you feel like quitting, you're passing this person because they're quitting. You get to this level, these people are quitting. You're passing them. Before you know it, you're one of those ones that has been around, you know, and that's when they're the people that are going to find success. So if you don't quit, you're going to soar past your competition. Now, I just wanted to give you a little background on it before we get into 5 things you can do now to get signed to a record label, to get signed to a record deal. I mean, it sounds easy. There's a lot of things that are easy, but they're very tedious and time-consuming, and it's hard in a sense to keep going, to be persistent, and that's what you need to be. So number 1, you need to write songs every day. And this is something most people won't do because they'll just kind of get tired of it. But if you're a musician and you want to get signed to a record label, the songs are where the money is, and that's what the record label wants. They want artists that are prolific, that are going to be putting a lot of stuff out. Back in the early 70s, it was very common for record labels to require artists to come out with 2 albums a year. And a lot of times the artists, even they're on major labels and they're touring the world, and they're getting tired of it, like trying to come out with this stuff. I think Van Halen was one that they came out with a new album pretty much every year, and that was with touring and everything else. And I'm glad they did. I'm glad the record company pushed them, because man, I love the music. So it really, that was great. And another one that comes right to the top of my head is Elton John. Like he has a million songs out there. And thank goodness, because at one time he was on $100,000 a month spending spree, just buying whatever he wanted. And luckily he wrote all those songs and he could tour and make all the money because he needed it. Anyway, you need to be writing songs every day. And, you might write 100 songs and have 10 good parts out of that 100 songs. And think, you put that together in one song, then you have a great song. Hey, you want great songs. You don't want just quantity, you want quality. So you have to do it every day. Number 2, you need to be booking gigs every day. And it sounds like overkill. It's like, why do I need to book gigs every day? Well, because you're not going to get booking agents from the clubs and the venues contacting you or replying to you on one time. You need to be following up. GigFaster, one of the great things about GigFaster is that whenever you submit to a venue, we will contact that venue for a month at the right times, the right amount of times, so that we can get a response for you. Okay, that's the system. If you do that with 100 clubs, if in order for you to do that with 100 clubs, that's going to require you contacting clubs almost every day, because you're going to be sending about 500 emails. You have to know when and what time and what to send these people to, so that you don't get blacklisted. So you need to be contacting clubs and trying to book gigs every day. It's going to take a while. Maybe in 3 months after you've been doing it every day, you'll have a whole month of gigs. That would be great, because record labels want to see that you're having performances and that you're doing great at performing. So leads me to the next thing. Number 3, you need to practice your instrument every day. It's so funny how I'll see, these guys, they'll say how great they are, and they're great singers and this and that. And, some people do kind of have a somewhat of a natural talent, but if you're not practicing it, it only goes so far. Nowadays, there are people that are just exceptional at every instrument, for voice, drums, saxophone, guitar, everything. So you need to be on top of your game, and you need to practice your instrument every day. If you're a singer, if you're a rapper, if you're writing, and you're doing that every day, and then when you get to a show and you play a live shows are never 100%. As much preparation as I have, I go over the top preparing for a show. And as much preparation as I do, the most a show will ever be is maybe 95%. And that's the maximum for anybody. There are always things that happen, but this is the thing. I practice so much that I can get to that level. Most people don't. So that when they have a show, it's just like they might only be at like 70%. That's why you got to practice every day. You never know if there's a record label waiting to watch you in the crowd. Like I had told on a podcast before, I had a record label out in the audience, and I think about it, and I think, were we prepared? Oh, that's all we ever wanted. That's what we wanted, like, to get our chance at this label. And when the time came, I'm like, I don't know. We really didn't have our show together the way, looking back, that's like, we weren't as prepared as we should have been. I mean, yeah, I could play guitar and they could play their instruments, but as a whole, we needed to practice even more to get that. So it's just like, there's no question. They're ready. We need them now. Guess what? Now you're in demand. Not one label, two label, three label. They're fighting for you. That's what you want. Number 4 is promote your music every day. I say this a lot. If you're not talking up you, not in an arrogant way, not in a cocky way, then nobody will. I mean, you need to spread the word about your music, and it doesn't mean, hey, listen to my great song. Like, I get emails every day with people sending me MP3s. Don't send me your MP3s. I don't listen to them. That's not the way to do it. If you actually listened to me and read all my blog posts, you would understand how to submit to the proper channels, not sending MP3. Nobody wants an MP3. No record label wants an MP3 unless they ask for it. Nobody's asking for it. But promote your music every day. Get your brand, your product, your band out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so that you're a constant reminder to people. You're not overwhelming them, but you're there in their minds. So when the time comes, you're making friends. Just think about that. That's what you're really trying to do. And whenever you have a show, it's a party you invite all your friends. They want to come, right? Okay. And number 5, never quit. I've said this 1,000,001 times. The truth is, most businesses and bands fail not because they're not good enough, but because they quit. And when you quit, that's where everything stops, and you can never get that success that might have been waiting for you right around the corner. You don't know what's around the corner, so never stop. Now, if you do these 5 simple things, you're going to be way ahead of most bands and artists, and it will put you on the track to getting signed by a record label. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees for anything, Every day is a blessing, and accept that and take advantage of it as you should. Now, in the meantime, you'll be building a great product. You'll be building a collection of songs that you wouldn't have had before to choose from, original songs. You'll be getting performance experience, and you're really you're polishing that performance so that when it matters, you're going to be ready for it. So never quit. And if you really want the success and you think you're that good enough for it, sometimes the skills don't matter. It's who does the stuff. So do that, and you'll find success. Thanks for watching. I'm Craig from GigFaster, and I got one more thing to say here, but before I do that, remember, if you persist, you will succeed. As I mentioned, to save you a ton, because if you're going to contact one club, you're going to have to contact 100 clubs. You really need, it's a number, and it's going to take 3 emails, maybe 1 initial response. That's just the way it works. So when you use GigFaster, we do this often with venues, record label, and music, writing about music. So you can book gigs, you can promote your music, and you can sell record labels. And you can do this all with starting a free trial. I mean, there's no obligation. You can dig in, get into the system, and see how it works before paying a dime. So thanks for watching. I'm Craig from GigFaster again, and have a great week, and I'll see you next time.